Yeah, thanks so much indeed, Brandy. I am at and about with Zan at the moment. Zan Jahinki is, of course, the COO of Property Monitor. Their monthly market report is out, the September numbers. We'll get into those very shortly. We are manning the security desk at the moment, though.
We are, aren't we?
Yeah,
stopping people coming in and out.
We're here talking property, making sure that everything's safe. In fact, we were going to talk property outside in the with the building construction going on around us, but we decided it might just be a bit too ambient.
Tad bit noisy.
Let's get into these numbers, shall we? Because obviously your monthly market report, the Property Monitor monthly market report, is out. Let's do price appreciation. Where's it going?
It's slowed down. So after the previous month where we saw almost pretty much double what the average had been over this recovery cycle, it's dropped back down just over 1%. Nice, steady and stable. It's a number that I'm much more comfortable seeing. Because if we go back to previous market cycles, it's that runaway effect that we don't want to see, right? That 2%, 2.5% month on month. See that for a few months in a row and it starts to get a little bit carried away.
Price appreciation there or thereabouts, as you say, coming down, as you know, a little bit of stability out there at the moment. How's that impacting on sales transactions?
Would you be surprised if I said it was another record month?
Oh, really? Go figure.
So, September comes in as not just a record month for September, but the highest transaction month ever, just over 18,000 transactions. So that's every month this year, with the exception of April, record month. We're only a couple of thousand transactions now behind the total volume of transactions that happened last year. So about 130,000 transactions, 131 this year, about 133 last year. We've got 3 months to go. So this is going to be a banner year by all means on transaction volumes.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? There just does not seem to be... the momentum continues. I know a lot of people talking about the momentum slowing a little bit there, as you saw with the price appreciation, but the interest is just still being generated.
The interest is through the roof. Yeah. I mean, just to put it into comparison for listeners, is that the transaction volume we'll see by end of this year is 4 times that pre-COVID. So we're not talking about COVID recovery. We're talking about what a market was relatively stable year after year, 4 times that amount of transactions. There's just tremendous demand coming in, largely led, though, by the off-plan market.
Let's talk about the off-plan project launches. How's that looking at the moment?
Strong. Again, another record we've reached. We're just shy of 100,000 new units brought to market off plan, just surpassing sort of what was last year's total number as well. So again, 3 months in the bank to go. We're trending at a launch every day, every 19 hours, about 350 units per day coming in. So they're being launched, but the important thing is they're being absorbed. Developers are selling these in a relatively short time frame. We're selling the majority of those units in a short time frame.
What about a couple of the headlines? Any big highlights in terms of sales?
Oh, there's one little one. 275 million for an apartment.
For an apartment?
For an apartment. So that's the highest apartment sale this year by a long shot. So 275 million on Palm Jumeirah. And you've got even, look, last week there was Rick mentioned a rental transaction, 15.5 million. There was another one a couple of months ago for 15 million. So you've got some massive transactions coming in. So you have those high net worth individuals here. That high end of the market, still seeing a lot of transactions, probably would see more if the inventory was available, I think, because there's a little bit of a lack in that ultra high net worth space. But the middle of the market now is actually where we're seeing a lot of growth. So if we look at those off-plan launches and just sales in general, we're passing that number of transactions, number of units brought to market, but we haven't passed the total sales value of those yet. So quick sum of the numbers shows that that's more units coming to market at more moderate price points. So a shift from the ultra high end and that ultra luxury more to that mid-market and high market area.
Something I was talking about with friends over the week. I've had friends over from the UK, and we're talking a lot about the market with them, and obviously the interest being generated. Yeah, we've almost become sort of immune to these extraordinary multi-million dirham sales, etc. We were talking about, people paying north of 2 million on rent at the moment for some properties here at the moment. That's extraordinary.
I wish I had that wallet.
That check away.
Yeah, but I think those guys are probably new to the market and testing the waters. But at the same time, if they're looking at what their mortgage payments are going to be, it could potentially be coming under on those rent payments.
Let's turn attention to mortgage transactions as well. Where are you seeing them taper at the moment?
So the previous month we saw them drop down, which after interest rates decrease, and kind of expect that, and with further rating or decreases on the horizon, we expect to see them taper. But they jumped. Where they jumped, though, what's interesting, is in bulk mortgages. So developers, investors that have larger portfolios they're probably jumping in, and that small rate reduction with the time they have on their loans coming to maturity, they probably had to jump in there. I wouldn't be surprised if it ebbs and flows over the coming months. Let's see these next couple of potential rate decreases that come in, and then when you've got that sort of the rates drop, say 75 basis points or 100 basis points, refinancing for a lot of people will be attractive, so you'll start to see a wave of refi activity happening. New purchase, though, with the amount of properties that are selling, you'll see that continue to go strong.
Can we talk about the coming months as well? I mean, obviously, you're looking at the numbers, and you crunch the numbers for September. We are speeding towards the end of the year, as you mentioned there. Looking into the Property Monitor crystal ball.
So we don't just track transactions, we track the things that lead up to it, the precursors, right? So before a sale is recorded, if it's got a mortgage, it's going to have a valuation, we track that data, we track contracts and SPAs, and we track the listings as well. That pipeline along those various stages is pointing to potentially more record months ahead. This month alone, we might edge closer to 20,000 transactions a month. And with the pipeline of off-plan projects coming to market, it won't be any surprise that we see that divide between the ready market and the off-plan market continue to widen further.
Yeah, and with more people coming to town at the moment, I mentioned that it's half-term over in the UK, a lot more eyeballs coming into the market as well. Tradition tells us, history tells us, that obviously generates more interest as well.
It does. I mean, we saw, so if we look at population growth, we've been roughly trending around 3% month on month. Yeah. It's the same over the last sort of 24 months. A little bit of a spike when the school year came back on, jumped into the 4s, but now back into the 3s. That's going to continue. Last year we had 105,000. Probably going to see 140, 150,000 growth in population this year. So as these units start to come on, there will be more demand for them. But we're going to get 2 to 3 years from now a big number of supply come on, so we might see some easing in prices ahead.
Looking forward to that. Sean, always good to catch up with you. Thanks so much indeed for your time. I bet when this man is back with us in another month's time as well, we might use the word record again. Just a hunch. That's all I can say. Big thank you to you and all the team for the report.
Pleasure.
Okay, back to the team for the latest traffic.